Making news now, the Trump administration is adding stricter requirements to its 2020 federal SNAP program. Thousands of people could lose their food stamps because of it. So here's a recap of those changes. In 2020, people between the age of 18 and 49 are required to work 20 hours a week in order to receive SNAP benefits. An exception will be made for people who have children or are disabled. Experts predict nearly 700,000 people could lose their food stamps next year. That includes people who live here in the Ozarks. So our David Chasanoff found out which areas might be affected by this. David, what did you learn today?
Yeah, well, I met with the least of these food pantry in Ozark, and their director of development, Christy Carter, tells me 50% of her clients are on food stamps. She says since she's only able to provide 5 meals to families once a month, this is a problem.
Families who receive food stamps, those food stamps do not cover food for an entire month.
The least of these food pantry doesn't provide a month's worth of food either.
So who's going to cover the amount of days of food that are covered by food stamps if they don't have those?
Carter believes this puts her pantry at a disadvantage.
It's going to end up causing a larger burden on food pantries in the area,
which she says makes her worry.
As we're seeing donations trend downward and the needs continue to rise, that leaves food pantries in kind of in the gap, and we're trying to help families who need services, but at what point, where's the breaking point is basically the question that we are constantly asking ourselves.
Carter says this may hurt her food pantry as well as people currently living on the streets. One woman I spoke to who currently seeks shelter in the connecting grounds from day to day tells me this rule change is unfair.
Even though I don't have a job right now and I don't have kids, people that are homeless I feel need the food stamps more than anybody.
April Matias has been homeless for 3 months.
Me and my boyfriend at the time, we lost our source of income and therefore got evicted from our apartment. When we became on the streets, we were both homeless. He wasn't able to handle it, so he ended up going back to his hometown, and that left me here to take care of myself.
She says in her time on the streets, food stamps have been a lifesaver.
It's kept me from starving. I mean, I've come from used to having my own apartment, being able to pay my bills and buy my own food and stuff to nothing. The only other thing worse than not having a roof over your head is starving to death. Trump needs to rethink his policies and really look at his people, really think about his people. Think about the people that really need the assistance. Stop thinking about his bottom line and what he's going through. He needs to think about us, what we go through from day to day.
Matias says before the changes go into action, she plans to continue to take advantage of Springfield's free food sources. The Trump administration says the new requirements will save more than $5 billion over 5 years.